Welcome to Mbuya Parent School and Kindergarten, situated in Kampala City with modern, well-equipped facilities plus extensive playing fields and amenities. Mbuya Parent School believes that a better future lies where children know how to find and create balances in themselves and the world around them. This explains our fusion of academic subjects and co-curricular activities. There are many opportunities presented to them to flourish both in and outside the classroom.
I want to become a president when I grow up.
I want to be a pilot.
I will be the best fashion designer.
Mbuya Parent School. The sky is our limit.
Welcome to lesson 2 of P4 Mathematics. I'm Teacher Judith, and we are having lesson 2 under patterns and sequences. Last time we had even numbers and odd numbers, and we went with an activity, and bravo, most of you did the activity excellently. When you look at number 1, I saw everybody's work very perfect. The rest also came out well, but I just need to emphasize them. When it came to number 2, it said, list a set of even numbers less than 10. I remember we had a table. We used a table. We used a table where we were showing the even and odd numbers. And we said the even numbers take the upper part, and the odd numbers take the downer part. So when you look at number 2, it says list a set of even numbers less than 10. That means you're not going to talk about 10. You're going to talk about numbers that are not 10, but they are below. So we have our even numbers always start with 0. So for all these numbers, we shall use the same table. We have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. When you look at the numbers above, they are the ones we need now. We are talking of even numbers less than 10. When we come back to our table, look for 10. 10 is here. Are my friends there? So, when you're to write that set of numbers less than 10, that means you're going to write them as a set because it's a group of numbers. We have 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. You close brackets. So this word less than means 10 is not inclusive. So let's right away go to number 3. How many even numbers are between 10 and 20? We shall continue with our table. We shall have 14, 15. I beg we continue there. We have 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. I think we can end there with 20 because we are looking for even numbers between 20 and 10. So here we have 12, 14, 16, 18. Should we mention 20? No. You can see I'm between the chalkboard and the table. We now talk of the chalkboard and the table. So that means this was 2. 3 we have 12, 14, 16, and 18. Get back to the question. The question says, how many even numbers are between 10 and 20? Count them. Because of this word, how many? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 even numbers. 4 even numbers between 10 and 20. That was nice. I saw many of you did it well. 4 says, list down odd numbers less than 15. We get back to our table. They say odd numbers less than 15. We've already looked at that word here. So it is simple for us to get those odd numbers. So we have 15 there. Remember, if they said less than, you're not going to include that. So in brackets, we have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 13. Because 15 was mentioned there is no need of us saying it. And from there, you put your curly brackets. Lastly, number 5 says, what is the sum of odd numbers less than 8? Go back to your table. Go back to your table. What are those numbers? Those odd numbers less than 8. Look for 8. 8 is there. They are talking of odd numbers. So that number that came before 8 was 7. So we have the numbers as 1, 3, 5, and 7. The question is looking for the sum. Sum means you put things together. You get the total. So we shall get the sum of 1, 3, 5, and 7. So we have 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7. 1 plus 3, yes, 4. 4 plus 5, we have 9. And 9 plus 7, we shall come to 16. Now, my dear friends, when you're done with writing your answers, always remember to underline. Make sure all your answers are underlined. This helps you or helps the teacher to know where your answer is. So that is it. So that makes us come to the end of our corrections. In our second lesson, we are going to look at whole numbers, counting numbers, even and odd numbers. So we are going to see by the end of this lesson, you must be able to complete patterns that are odd, even, whole, and counting. So our first example. Our first example is here. But before I go to the first example, you must know what a whole and a counting number is. You must differentiate between a whole and a counting number. When we talk of whole numbers, we shall always list them starting with 0. We say 0, 1, 2, 3, following in that order. Then when we talk of counting numbers, we start counting with 1. When you look at my oranges, I will not say 0. I'll say 1. This is 1 orange. So I'm counting. I'll say 1, 2, 3, and 4 oranges. So whenever we are counting, we start with 1. And whole numbers simply start with 0. So we are going to see them in patterns and we complete them. So our first example says, complete the pattern. Complete the pattern below. And our pattern is 0, 1, 2, dash, dash, 5, dash, and dash. When you look at this number, it started with 0. And after 0 we have 1. That means these are whole numbers. Because we said whole numbers start with 0. What number was added to 0 to get 1? The answer will automatically be 1. So that means 1 was added to 0 to get 1. The same thing. What number did you add to 1 to get 2? Brilliant children will always say it is 1. That means we are going to add 1 to get the missing numbers. So in this case, plus 1. Sorry, I have my beautiful colors here. We have plus 1. 2 plus 1, we shall have 3. That missing one too, we shall say plus 1, we shall come to 4. Again there we have plus 1, we shall come to 5. Plus 1 here, we shall come to 6. And plus 1 there. We got 5 plus 1, we shall come to 6. 6 plus 1, we come to 7. When you look at our pattern, it's complete. And when you look at these numbers, these are whole numbers. You'll identify them as whole numbers. Why do we say whole? Because of the 0. Good. Let's go to example 2. When you come to example 2, we have 1, 2, 3, dash, dash. We have 6 and dash. Still, we are going to compare the two next numbers. 1 coming to 2. What did I do? I added 1 to come to 2. I said plus 1 to come to 2. What did I do to come to 3? I said plus 1 came to 3. Still I'll have plus 1. 3 plus 1. Somebody will say it is 4. When it comes to this number, you see that we are adding 1 to get the next number. I'll add 1 to get 2, add 1 to 2 to get 3, add 1 to 3 to get 4, add 1 to 4 to get 5. So to get 6, 1 was added, as you see there. Then to get the missing number there also, we shall add 1. And when you say 6 plus 1, we come to 7. So I've completed that pattern. We need to name it. We said counting numbers start with 1. Therefore, these are counting numbers. These are counting numbers. I hope we are together. Let's have our third example. We said we are looking at whole numbers, counting numbers, even numbers, and odd numbers. So in this case, I have a pattern which is 0, 2, 4, dash, 8, dash. Still the same. Come to the first number, we have 0. How did we get to 2? Ask yourself, 2, take away 0. What do we get? Somebody will say 2. So that means we added 2 to 0 to get 2. Then the same thing to get 4. What did we add to 2? Somebody will very fast tell you that 2 was added to 2 to get 4. That means to get the missing number, we shall add 2. We shall add 2. So ask yourself, 4 plus 2. What's the next number? You will automatically tell me it is 6. So to get 8, we are moving with the same pattern. Plus 2. We got 8. We shall have plus 2. So 8 plus 2. You can even ask yourself, I have 8 in my head, 9, 10. So the missing number here is 10. Identify the number. What is that number? It started with 0, 2, 4. Remember last time we talked of even numbers, and the first even number is 0. So that means these are even numbers. So you write, these are even numbers. And let's come to our last example. I have 1 dash, actually this is 1, 3, dash, dash. We have 9 there. We are looking for these 2 missing numbers to complete the pattern. Don't forget, you have to compare the first 2 numbers to get the pattern. So the first number is 1. Ask yourself, what is added to 1 to get 3? You will see that to get 3, we shall add 2. Are you seeing that? The same thing we shall do here. We shall say plus 2. And 3 plus 2, we shall come to 5. Plus 2 there, 5 plus 2, we shall have 7. And 7 plus 2, we have 7 plus 2, we shall come to 9. So what type of numbers are they? When you recall, we looked at odd numbers and we said odd numbers start with 1. Odd numbers start with 1. And here we've seen the pattern is 2. We are adding 2 to get the different odd numbers. So naming this, we shall say they are odd numbers. We have seen at the end of it all, we have found patterns of odd numbers, counting numbers, whole numbers, and even numbers. I will not leave you like that. We have an activity. The activity says, name and write the missing numbers. You can see the missing numbers there. You find them at your time. Then you send me your feedback, just like you did for the previous activity. In our next lesson, we shall look at multiples. Please, I beg, before we come to the next lesson, come when you can recite all the 12 multiplication tables. I remain Judith Amon. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you.